People care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you. I internalized that as opportunity. We had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people. As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much rather have that than people who are in blahs forget mindlessly scrolling through Netflix. Tonight, fam, because real life has officially delivered a plot twist worthy of an Oscar, and it's playing out right here in Hollywood. We're not talking scripted drama, we're plunging head first into a real-life no-holds-bar scorched earth feud so unbelievably messy, so utterly captivating it makes any fictional celebrity spat look like a polite disagreement over tea and crumpets. Buckle up, grab your popcorn, or maybe something stronger, because we're about to dissect a full-blown Hollywood showdown of epic proportions, a clash between two stars we all thought were Teflon-coated, immune to scandal, the seemingly eternally charming Blake Lively and the perpetually positive Justin Baloney. Get ready to have your jaws drop as we unravel jaw-dropping allegations that are shaking the industry to its core, suspiciously edited text messages that are raising more questions than answers, an attorney, a legal titan who basically sprinted for the nearest exit, leaving a trail of bewildered onlookers in their wake, and the rumor, the whispered secret that's got Tinseltown absolutely buzzing, practically vibrating with anticipation. A clandestine recording allegedly made by an innocent child that insiders say could completely obliterate everything we thought we knew and flip this entire already insane saga on its head. If you like us live for real-life drama that's spicier, more unpredictable, and frankly more unbelievable than anything concocted by even the most imaginative screenwriter, then you, my friend, are in precisely the right place. We're here to meticulously dissect every last bombshell, every whispered accusation, every leaked text in the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni clash, leaving no stone unturned, no rumor unexamined. So ditch the remote, silence your phone notifications, and let's get straight to the heart of this Hollywood hurricane. Honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style, so it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me. For years, Blake Lively reigned supreme as the undisputed golden girl of Hollywood. Think about it, every red carpet appearance was a masterclass in effortless glamour. Every interview radiated a carefully curated persona of down-to-earth relatability, and she was always armed with that signature razor-sharp yet somehow utterly charming wit. Remember those iconic red carpet moments, the Met Gala gowns that landed her on every best-dressed list, the playful banter with reporters that made headlines for all the right reasons, the carefully constructed narrative of a star who was both aspirational and somehow just like one of us. She cultivated this rare aura, this almost paradoxical blend of celebrity mystique and approachable warmth, like she could effortlessly rock designer couture worth more than your house 1 minute and then genuinely connect with you, crack jokes, and share relatable anecdotes about motherhood or everyday life, making you feel like you were just chatting with a friend in the grocery store checkout line. The next fans absolutely devoured it. They ate it up, they craved it, they built entire online communities around celebrating this image of perfection. We all collectively thought we had discovered a new era Hollywood sweetheart, a dazzling star who had somehow miraculously escaped the usual Tinseltown drama vortex, a beacon of light in an often murky industry. Well, apparently we were all collectively and spectacularly fooled, because behind the shimmering facade, behind the carefully constructed public image, behind the scenes of her latest highly anticipated project, a prestige film adaptation of a beloved, critically acclaimed novel directed and co-written by the seemingly perpetually affable and positive Justin Baldoni, Blake's once seemingly impenetrable squeaky clean sheen is starting to seriously corrode, to crumble under the weight of mounting accusations and swirling controversy. This project, which on paper and in everyone's initial optimistic projections should have been a guaranteed feel-good production, overflowing with heartwarming moments, genuine tears, infectious laughs, and those universally uplifting vibes we all crave in our escapist entertainment, is now shockingly drowning in a murky swamp of swirling claims, explosive accusations, and increasingly bitter legal back and forths. And get this, hold on to your hats, folks, because the drama has spiraled Metastasized even to such epic, almost unbelievable proportions that rumor has. At Blake's own child, yes, her daughter, the very embodiment of innocence, may have inadvertently accidentally stumbled upon and recorded some truly deeply incriminating details. Trust me when I say, if even the faintest whisper of that rumor pans out to be demonstrably true, we are not just talking a minor celebrity squabble, we are talking next level, potentially career imploding Hollywood meltdown of biblical proportions. But how did we possibly get to this utterly chaotic, utterly unexpected point? Was the meticulously crafted Golden Girl image the persona we all readily embraced, just a brilliantly executed, decades-long facade masking something far more complex, far more calculated, a working under an editor, she said, the most difficult person that she has ever worked with, and the rudest person that she had ever worked with, was Blake Lively, who got the cover of Glamour at some time when I was working at Glamour magazine. That ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of two people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent, and they were both on the line, which means something serious. Either you got the job or there's something wrong, and they said, so you were the choice. But the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting, oh no, and then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows? Let's rewind the clock a bit, peel back the layers of manufactured narrative, and revisit the seemingly idyllic beginnings of this now infamous project, the source material for this film adaptation, not just any novel, but a literary darling, a critically acclaimed novel with a massive, fiercely devoted, almost cult-like fan base who had been clamoring for a big screen adaptation for years. You strategically placed Justin Baldoni, an actor and burgeoning director, practically synonymous with radiating feel-good, relentlessly positive, almost aggressively wholesome energy at the directorial helm, and then you strategically add a supernova of star power, a genuine A-lister like Blake Lively to the mix on paper, in every boardroom projection, in every studio executive's wildest dreams. It should have been a guaranteed no-brainer box office and critical slam dunk right and in the very beginning, in those carefully curated initial press releases and carefully staged social media interactions. It genuinely seemed like it was the initial vibes, dare we say, were almost too good to be true. Justin publicly effusively hyped up Blake's undeniable, almost blinding star power, showering her with praise in every interview. Blake in turn reciprocated, saying all sorts of saccharine sweet things about Justin's almost childlike passion for the project, painting a picture of harmonious collaboration and mutual respect. Everyone from studio interns to seasoned producers seemed ready, eager, and ideally positioned to produce a cinematic masterpiece that would resonate with audiences worldwide and garner critical acclaim. But then subtly, at first almost imperceptibly, folks on set, from the grips to the caterers, started noticing a subtle, almost glacial tension creeping in, like an unwelcome, uninvited guest who crashes a meticulously planned party and throws the entire atmosphere off kilter. Justin, bless his overly ambitious, perhaps slightly naive heart, was attempting to juggle not one, not two, but multiple crucial roles on this already high-pressure production, director, co-writer, painstakingly crafting the screenplay, and somewhat inexplicably even on-camera talent taking on a significant acting role alongside his directorial duties. Talk about a recipe for potential over-extension, for creative burnout, for a chaotic and potentially combustible working environment. Some crew members whispering in hushed tones after wrap parties claimed Blake felt increasingly, almost demonstrably overshadowed by Justin's perceived triple threat status, feeling that her own considerable contributions were being minimized intentionally or not. Rumors fueled by leaked emails and overheard conversations started swirling around set, whispers that she was possibly deeply annoyed, even subtly resentful, at being relegated in her own perceived hierarchy to what she saw as a secondary supporting co-star role, and essentially a glorified red carpet magnet there to draw paparazzi and generate pre-release buzz, if you dare to believe the increasingly persistent whispers echoing through Hollywood backlots and exclusive industry gatherings. She started privately venting to confidants to her inner circle about how Justin was allegedly systematically controlling everything from the minutiae of press interviews to the overarching marketing angles. Seems seemly in her interpretation, painting her as some kind of afterthought, a mere supporting player in His directorial vision, of course, in the pressure cooker environment of Hollywood productions, creative differences, clashes of artistic vision and personality conflicts happen all the time. Usually in the vast majority of cases these minor disagreements get ironed out over a strategically scheduled power coffee at a trendy LA cafe, or more often than not, they are simply left unsaid, unresolved, simmering just beneath the surface of professional polite, eventually fading into the background noise of production. But not this time, oh no, not even close, because soon enough, with the speed and ferocity of a California wildfire, an avalanche of deeply personal, increasingly acrimonious text messages, pointed legal complaints drafted by high-powered attorneys, and juicy, meticulously detailed behind-the-scenes tidbits leaked by disgruntled insiders and opportunistic publicists rain down on the voracious tabloids and celebrity gossip blogs, painting a very vivid, increasingly disturbing picture of feuding leads locked in a silent, simmering, increasingly public war of attrition. Creative differences are normal, expected even in this industry. But this particular situation, this escalating feud, escalated not just rapidly but spectacularly, transforming a seemingly harmonious production into a full-blown Hollywood circus. And being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being a man was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make us human. That's it, it's very simple. So the initial rumor, the spark that ignited this entire Hollywood inferno and sent shock waves rippling through the industry, the accusation that first dominated headlines and fueled online speculation that Blake, in a move that surprised many who perceived her as such tactics, directly accused Justin of orchestrating a calculated, underhanded smear campaign meticulously designed to undermine her reputation and sabotage her public image. The accusation was stark, direct, and incredibly damaging. She alleged that Justin was actively planting negative, fabricated stories about her in the insatiable press, using anonymous sources and back-channel communications like he was on some covert stealth mission, operating in the shadows, solely dedicated to tarnishing her carefully constructed, meticulously maintained image of Hollywood perfection initially, and perhaps surprisingly to a lot of people both within the industry and among the general public found this somewhat outlandish narrative surprisingly credible. And why wouldn't they? We all, even the most naive among us, know that Hollywood, beneath the glitz and glamour, the red carpets and award shows, can often be a treacherous, cutthroat nest of vipers, a breeding ground for ambition, jealousy, and ruthless power plays. Powerful men throughout Hollywood history have been demonstrably, repeatedly known to, shall we say with extreme understatement, undermined female co-stars, systematically diminishing their contributions, sabotaging their careers, and manipulating public perception to maintain their own positions of power and control. Blake's accusation in this context tapped into a pre-existing narrative, a widely accepted understanding of the darker underbelly of the entertainment industry. But almost as quickly as it gained traction, that initial narrative, that seemingly plausible accusation, soon started losing steam, started to feel less and less solid, less and less convincingly airtight. And why? What caused this sudden shift in public perception? Because Justin's allies, a strategically assembled team of publicists, lawyers, and industry insiders, dramatically and with a calculated PR precision, whipped out a totally different and demonstrably more compelling set of receipts. Not just vague, dismissive denials issued through carefully worded press releases, but actual unredacted text logs, meticulously time-stamped, demonstrably authentic, presented for public scrutiny, instead of unequivocally painting Justin as the manipulative villain as Blake's initial accusation suggested. These newly released messages, when viewed in their raw, unedited context, started to paint Blake herself in a completely different, far less flattering and frankly increasingly questionable light. But was Justin, as initially portrayed, really the orchestrating villain, or was something far more complex, far more nuanced, and perhaps far more disturbing going on entirely behind the scenes? But I was like just tracking him down, and then finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller, so that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director. And so I said, you know what is this? 'Cause the script is definitely like a twisting, turning intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said yes. So then Every day on set I was like it's today a comedy or is it a thriller, and yeah, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and kind of like my outfit, I guess. Suddenly, with the release of these unedited text exchanges, instead of a victim of a calculated smear campaign, those very same text messages now available for public consumption and online dissection seem to unequivocally portray Blake as the one actively, strategically, and perhaps even ruthlessly pulling the levers, the one issuing demands, the one attempting to exert an almost dictatorial level of control over virtually every aspect of the production. She allegedly, according to these leaked communications, dropped her formidable AIM connections, leveraging the considerable influence of her husband Ryan Reynolds and other quote-unquote hush-hush power players. Individuals whose names remain shrouded in industry secrecy, but whose power is undeniable to try and forcefully impose sweeping changes in everything from the fundamental narrative structure of the script itself to the granular details of the film's marketing campaign. We're talking alleged demands for script alterations that fundamentally shifted character arcs, marketing strategy overhauls that prioritized her individual UAL image above the film's overall message, and even incredibly detailed micromanagement of the set's daily schedule, impacting everything from call times to catering choices. The text even chillingly suggests, according to industry analysts poring over every leaked detail, that she explicitly threatened to completely hold back on crucial promotional appearances, effectively holding the entire film's marketing campaign hostage if her increasingly outlandish and often contradictory demands weren't met with immediate and unquestioning compliance, then adding another layer of explosive drama to this already volatile situation in a next-level, almost operatic dramatic flourish that only the hypercharged atmosphere of Hollywood can truly conjure. Blake's side, seemingly preemptively anticipating further damaging revelations, filed a formal legal complaint. She claimed in meticulously worded legal jargon that the production team under Justin's direct supervision had blatantly disregarded essential industry standard safety protocols for intimate close contact scene, putting actors at risk, and most explosively, shockingly, and personally damaging, she alleged that Justin had made deeply inappropriate, profoundly insensitive, and frankly body-shaming remarks about her postpartum body, comments that she claimed made her feel deeply disrespected, humiliated, and professionally undermined. Now, if even a fraction of that allegation is demonstrably true, that's unequivocally the kind of toxic, unprofessional, and frankly potentially illegal talk no star, regardless of their level of fame or perceived invulnerability, wants to be publicly associated with, particularly in the current climate of heightened sensitivity and accountability within the entertainment industry, but in a pattern that was becoming increasingly familiar and demonstrably damaging to Blake's credibility. Once again, Justin's team seemingly anticipating and prepared for every counter-accusation, countered again, strategically releasing more unedited messages, more meticulously time-stamped communications, more raw, unfiltered evidence that seemed to poke glaring, almost gaping holes in her carefully constructed timeline, her increasingly questionable version of events, and ultimately her overall credibility. Everything was already a messy, tangled web of accusations, counter-accusations, leaked texts, and simmering tensions, until it got even demonstrably, spectacularly worse, descending further into uncharted territory of Hollywood chaos just when you thought this already unbelievable saga couldn't possibly get messier, more convoluted, more utterly bizarre. I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of the how intrusive media is these days. There's people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you in a truly unprecedented move, a development that sent shock waves of disbelief and stunned silence rippling through Hollywood's notoriously tight-lipped legal circles. Blake's longtime attorney, a legal titan, a high-powered lawyer, presumably a big shot in the upper echelons of the entertainment industry, someone who had represented her for years and was deeply embedded in her professional and potentially personal life, abruptly and seemingly without warning quit, and not quietly, not with the usual discreet industry maneuvering, not with a carefully worded face-saving press release citing irreconcilable differences or amicable parting of ways. Oh no, far from it. They, in a move that defied all industry norms and shattered established protocol, put out a formal public statement that in its carefully chosen legal language basically screamed for all of Hollywood and the world to hear, yeah, I as a legal professional, bound by ethical obligations, have serious, profound, and ultimately insurmountable doubts based on the evidence I have reviewed about my client Blake Lively's story. If your jaw wasn't already permanently affixed to the floor at this point, it unequivocally, undeniably, absolutely should be in the notoriously secretive, fiercely protective, and deeply interconnected world of Tinseltown lawyers are by professional training and industry expectation known for quietly, almost invisibly stepping aside discreetly, withdrawing from representation when things aren't working out, when a case seems unwinnable, or when ethical lines become blurred. They are not known for flamboyantly, publicly, and with such stark, unambiguous language calling into question their own high-profile clients' credibility, essentially throwing them under the proverbial bus in the full glare of the media spotlight. Industry watchers, seasoned entertainment journalists, legal analysts, and even rival law firms absolutely lost it. They collectively gasped, they furiously tweeted, they dissected every word of the attorney's statement, recognizing the sheer unprecedented nature of this public betrayal. Suddenly all those who had initially, perhaps out of ingrained habit or residual goodwill, given Blake the benefit of the doubt, those who had initially leaned towards believing her version of events, started to seriously, urgently, and perhaps reluctantly wonder if her own lawyer, someone privy to all the confidential information, someone bound by professional ethics and legal scrutiny, is publicly, unequivocally implying that her story as presented simply doesn't match the actual evidence. What does that fundamentally mean for all these incredibly serious, incredibly damaging claims about Justin? The attorney's very public, almost theatrical walk-off in its sheer audacity and unprecedented nature fueled intense, rampant speculation that Blake faced mounting evidence contradicting her narrative might have, in a desperate attempt to control the narrative and salvage her reputation, tampered with, strategically edited, or even outright fabricated key communications, manipulating timelines and distorting context to deliberately and perhaps maliciously cast Justin as the unambiguous villain in this unfolding Hollywood drama. Suddenly, with the attorney's bombshell exit, the carefully constructed narrative, the initial public perception did a complete, almost whiplash-inducing 180 turn. Maybe, just maybe, Justin wasn't the orchestrating, manipulative smear campaigner after all. Maybe, just maybe, the real puppet strings, the true source of manipulation and calculated narrative control, were shockingly in Blake's very well-manicured, seemingly innocent hands. Dramatic, absolutely unbelievable perhaps, but then just when everyone, even the most jaded Hollywood insiders, thought it simply couldn't get any weirder, more convoluted, more utterly and completely insane in this all-PR bizarre and rapidly escalating saga, we are confronted with the almost unbelievable, utterly outlandish yet undeniably captivating rumor, the whispered secret that is currently consuming Hollywood and threatening to detonate this entire saga into a full-blown, irreversible public relations catastrophe. The rumor of a child's accidental recording. Picture this, if you can even begin to wrap your head around the sheer absurdity of it. Blake's young daughter, presumably on the bustling, chaotic film set, or perhaps more innocently just messing around with a parent's unlocked smartphone backstage in a trailer or dressing room, inadvertently, accidentally, and completely unknowingly hits the record button during a private, potentially highly incriminating conversation. The rumor mill, fueled by anonymous insider leaks and amplified by the insatiable appetite of social media, claims this child's audio snippet, a fleeting moment captured on a device meant for games and cartoons, features Blake in her own unmistakable voice, explicitly, strategically, and perhaps even chillingly talking in detail about how to meticulously spin certain seemingly minor onset issues, how to subtly twist narratives and manipulate perceptions, all with the calculated objective of painting Justin in the most negative, most unflattering, and most professionally damaging light possible, like, according to these increasingly persistent whispers, practically choreographing a calculated drama, scripting a behind-the-scenes narrative designed to portray Justin as unprofessional, trolling, and even potentially abusive, if that's even a fraction of the truth, if even a hint of Authenticity can be verified in this explosive rumor. It is without hyperbole basically a nuclear bomb detonating with deafening force in this already volatile, deeply acrimonious war of he said, she said, because no matter how many high-pricey spin doctors you hire, no matter how many carefully crafted lawyer-approved press statements you strategically release, no matter how effectively you attempt to control the narrative through selective leaks and damage control tactics, a candid, unscripted real-time audio recording, especially one inadvertently captured by your own child, is a PR disaster of truly epic, potentially career-ending, catastrophic proportions now, and this is crucial to emphasize. Let's pump the brakes, take a collective deep breath, and inject a dose of much-needed reality into this swirling vortex of speculation. We do not at this juncture have any official verifiable confirmation that this alleged tape even tangibly exists. The child in question understandably is obviously not giving press interviews, and no one from the notoriously private Lively Reynolds household is stepping up to clarify, confirm, or vehemently deny anything, maintaining a strategic, perhaps deafening silence. But the sheer fact that insiders, individuals with demonstrable connections to the production and to Hollywood's inner circles, are whispering about it, that it's become a red-hot trending topic of frenzy debate on social media platforms, dominating online forums and celebrity gossip blogs, says a lot about just how far this Hollywood meltdown has truly metastasized, how deeply it has permeated the industry's collective consciousness. People both inside and outside Hollywood are practically salivating, almost gleefully anticipating at the almost darkly comedic irony of the situation, the delicious chaude androa of the idea that a child in a moment of innocent curiosity could inadvertently accidentally blow the meticulously crafted lid off a major star's alleged manipulation tactics, exposing a carefully constructed facade with a simple press of a digital button. Yes, it's undeniably bizarre. Yes, it's almost comically absurd, bordering on the surreal, that a seemingly innocuous phone, casually left in the hands of a bored, curious kid, could potentially become the ultimate, unintended Hollywood truth serum, capable of unraveling carefully constructed careers and shattering carefully curated reputations. But hey, in the increasingly unpredictable, increasingly chaotic, and increasingly transparent land of unreleased text logs, ex-lawyers publicly throwing shade with unprecedented candor, and leaked behind-the-scenes video clips surfacing at every turn, is this truly outlandish, almost farcical scenario really in the grand scheme of this Hollywood meltdown that far-fetched? Could a child's innocent moment, a simple accidental recording, truly unravel a Hollywood star's carefully constructed empire? Hollywood and the world is holding its breath, waiting to find out. So if you've been paying even a sliver of attention, even passively absorbing the ambient noise of this unfolding Hollywood drama, you cannot possibly deny that Blake's carefully cultivated, meticulously crafted brand, her entire public persona, is fundamentally built on a foundation of perceived approachability, that infectious comedic flair that charmed millions, and that carefully projected sense of genuine, almost disarmingly earnest sincerity. She's strategically positioned herself and been widely embraced by the public as the quintessential cool mom star, the relatable celebrity, the A-star who somehow still felt like the girl next door, the star we all perhaps naively thought we could trust, relate to, and maybe even in some fantastical parallel universe be friends with in another life. If that carefully constructed brand, that meticulously maintained persona of approachable perfection, cracks under the immense pressure of this scandal, if the carefully erected facade crumbles and reveals something far less palatable underneath, can it even realistically bounce back, or will she be permanently, irrevocably, and perhaps deservedly stuck in the purgatory of PR damage control, forever defined by this scandal, forever struggling to reclaim the public's trust and affection? Let's be brutally, coldly realistic for a moment. Tinseltown, in its long and often morally ambiguous history, has definitely witnessed bigger comeback stars who have weathered far worse storms of scandal and public outrage, individuals who have managed to claw their way back from the brink of career oblivion. But there's something uniquely damaging, almost intrinsically toxic about this particular constellation of accusations and revelations. There's something especially corrosive, almost irreparable, when your own longtime attorney, your legal Protector, your supposed staunch advocate, basically publicly and with damning specificity calls you out, questioning your veracity and undermining your credibility, and when a rumored audio clip purportedly featuring your own child directly and demonstrably undercuts your very public, very carefully articulated allegations, painting a darkly contradictory picture of events people the fickle and forgiving public might perhaps overlook. A text or two dismiss a minor inconsistency, maybe even charitably chalk it up to a simple misunderstanding, a heat-of-the-moment miscommunication, but an entire demonstrably consistent pattern of contradictory evidence, a cascade of revelations that systematically undermine your narrative and expose potential fabrications that, my friends, is a PR monster of truly Herculean proportions to tackle, a reputational behemoth almost impossible to overcome also, and this cannot be overstated. Seriously, critically consider that the child's recording angle, the almost unbelievably sensational nature of this rumored audio clip, is so inherently captivating, so inherently scandalous that it might completely, utterly, and irrevocably overshadow everything else if that tape, that rumored recording, ever actually surfaces, escaping the confines of whispered rumors and shadowy insider gossip, even with the faintest, most ambiguous whisper of proof that Blake demonstrably plotted strategically and intentionally to smear Justin's reputation and sabotage his career. We are unequivocally dealing with a full-blown 5-alarm Hollywood meltdown that could and likely will overshadow the actual film's release, completely eclipse the story's intended emotional heart, and irrevocably diminish everyone else's hard work, dedication, and artistic contributions to the project. Meanwhile, the ever-watchful, ever-calculating eyes of Hollywood itself are collectively, silently, and ruthlessly watching, waiting with bated breath to see what dramatic act unfolds next in this real-life celebrity soap opera. Producers, studio executives, casting directors, individuals who once eagerly lined up clamoring to cast Blake in their projects might be quietly, strategically, and very cautiously putting deals on ice, discreetly withdrawing offers and whispering about the potential PR nightmare she now represents, worried she'll bring a tidal wave of unwanted negative publicity, a tsunami of scandal and controversy to any project she becomes attached to. Is this then finally definitively the unceremonious and perhaps inevitable end of Blake Lively, once universally hailed as America's sweetheart, now potentially facing a precipitous and irreversible fall from grace? Hollywood is holding its breath, waiting to see if she can somehow, against all odds, pull off a miraculous PR recovery, or if this scandal will indelibly mark the end of an era, the tragic downfall of a carefully constructed Hollywood icon. In a stark contrast to the swirling vortex of drama engulfing Blake, Justin has maintained an almost unnerving calm. He consistently emphasizes honesty, cooperation, and letting facts speak. He released unredacted texts avoiding name-calling. This measured approach sharply contrasts Blake's drama, initially seen as PR. His calm demeanor now appears genuine, especially with the lawyer's exit and recording rumors suggesting a misguided takedown attempt. If the recording confirms this, its ultimate vindication. The postpartum comments and promotional disputes, now viewed in context, further solidify this. His calm stance, validated by external events, positions him as the unexpected protagonist in this chaotic narrative. So many questions remain in this Hollywood storm. Is the child's recording real? What's the full truth? Can Blake recover? This saga is a stark warning for the digital age. Narratives crumble under scrutiny in our transparent world. Controlling the story is almost impossible. Partial truths fail when complete records like texts or a child's recording emerge. That's Blake's apparent miscalculation. Justin's transparency and the attorney's exit are shaking her brand. Now the crossroads. Will the recording surface crushing Blake? Will Justin emerge vindicated, or is there one last Hollywood twist? For now we watch the internet decode every rumor real life, as we see often out drama's fiction. What do you think? Is the recording real? Gossip team Blake or team withdrawing offers and whispering about the potential PR nightmare she now represents, worried she'll bring a tidal wave of unwanted negative publicity, a tsunami of scandal and controversy to any project she becomes attached to? Is this then finally definitively the unceremonious and perhaps inevitable end of Blake Lively, once universally hailed As America's sweetheart, now potentially facing a precipitous and irreversible fall from Grace Hollywood, is holding its breath, waiting to see if she can somehow, against all odds, pull off a miraculous PR recovery, or if this scandal will indelibly mark the end of an era, the tragic downfall of a carefully constructed Hollywood icon. In a stark contrast to the swirling vortex of drama engulfing Blake, Justin has maintained an almost unnerving calm. He consistently emphasizes honesty, cooperation, and letting facts speak. He released unredacted texts avoiding name-calling. This measured approach sharply contrasts Blake's drama, initially seen as PR. His calm demeanor now appears genuine, especially with the lawyer's exit and recording rumors suggesting a misguided takedown attempt. If the recording confirms this, its ultimate vindication. The postpartum comments and promotional disputes, now viewed in context, further solidify this. His calm stance, validated by external events, positions him as the unexpected protagonist in this chaotic narrative. So many questions remain in this Hollywood storm. Is the child's recording real? What's the full truth? Can Blake recover? This saga is a stark warning for the digital age. Narratives crumble under scrutiny in our transparent world. Controlling the story is almost impossible. Partial truths fail when complete records like texts or a child's recording emerge. That's Blake's apparent miscalculation. Justin's transparency and the attorney's exit are shaking her brand. Now the crossroads. Will the recording surface crushing Blake? Will Justin emerge vindicated, or is there one last Hollywood twist? For now we watch the internet decode every rumor real life as we see often out drama's fiction. What do you think? Is the recording real? Gossip team Blake or team